Honorable members, I cordially welcome you all to the monsoon session of the Youth Parliament. Hope this session will be a very fruitful one, as we will here together to deliberate on the important matters concerning the nation. It was a terrible tragedy for Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Kerala and the nation. We are deeply pained to see people who have lost their lives and family members in the tragedy, calling it a national disaster and demanded an urgent comprehensive action plan. Today's first business is the oath taking. Secretary General, please.
Srimati Palak Dhama, who stand elected from the Varanasi constituency of Uttar Pradesh, will now take an oath or affirmation. Madam, do you want to take an oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
Madam, in which language would you like to take the oath?
In Sanskrit, please. अहं पलक लोकसभाया सदस्यत्वेन निर्वाचिता निश्चयेन परमेश्वरस्य नाम्ना शपे यत् अहं विधिना स्थापितं भारतस्य संविधानं प्रति सत्यां श्रद्धां निष्ठां च धारयिष्ये यत् अहं भारतस्य सम्पूर्ण प्रभुत्व सम्पन्नताम् अखण्डतां च रक्षयिष्यामि तथा यत् पदं ग्रहीतुम् अहम् उद्यता अस्मि तस्य कर्तव्यानि श्रद्धापूर्वकं निर्वक्ष्यामि।
Shri Laksha Agarwal, who stand elected from the Srinagar constituency, Jammu and Kashmir, will now take an oath or affirmation. Sir, do you want to take an oath or affirmation?
Affirmation, please.
Sir, in which language would you like to take the affirmation?
In English, please.
I, Lakshya Agarwal, having been elected a member of the lower house of the Youth Parliament, I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, and that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Srimati Prannavi Nair, who stand elected from the Ernakulam constituency of Kerala, will now take an oath or affirmation. Madam, do you want to take an oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
Madam, in which language would you like to take the oath?
In Malayalam, please. Pranavi Nair, ആയ ഞാൻ യൂത്ത് പാർലമെന്റിന്റെ ലോവർ ഹൗസിലെ ഒരു അംഗമായി തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കപ്പെട്ടതിനാൽ നിയമപ്രകാരം ഇന്ത്യൻ ഭരണഘടനയോടുള്ള യഥാർത്ഥ വിശ്വാസവും വിധേയത്വവും പുലർത്തുമെന്നും ഇന്ത്യയുടെ പരമാധികാരവും അഖണ്ഡത്വവും കാത്തുസൂക്ഷിക്കുമെന്നും എന്നെ ഏൽപ്പിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന കടമ വിശ്വാസത്തോടെ നിർവഹിക്കുമെന്നും ദൈവനാമത്തിൽ സത്യം ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Srimati Diprabha, who stand elected from the Barakpur constituency of West Bengal, will now take an oath or affirmation. Madam, do you want to take an oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
Madam, in which language would you like to take the oath?
In Bengali, please. আমি দীপ্রভা যুব সংসদের নিম্নপক্ষের সদস্য নির্বাচিত হয়ে দৃঢ়তার সাথে এই অঙ্গীকার করছি যে আমি ভারতের আইন দ্বারা প্রতিষ্ঠিত সংবিধানের প্রতি সত্য বিশ্বাস ও অনুগত থাকব। আমি ভারতের সার্বভৌমত্ব ও অখণ্ডতাকে সমুন্নত রাখব এবং যেই দায়িত্ব আমি গ্রহণ করতে যাচ্ছি তা আমি বিশেষতার সাথে পালন করব।
Honorable members, I have to make an announcement. On my own behalf of the honorable members of the House, I have a great pleasure in extending our warm welcome to His Excellency Mr. Roberta Metsola, the Speaker of the European Parliament, and the honorable members of the European Parliament delegation who are on a visit in our country. The other honorable members of the delegation are Mr. Barry Andrews from Ireland, Mrs. Maria Arena from Belgium, Mrs. Lara Coby from Italy. It is a very high-powered delegation. The delegation arrived on Sunday, 16th August 2024. They are now seated in the special port. We wish them a happy and fruitful stay in our country. We also convey our warm greetings and very best wishes through them to all the member countries of the European Parliament and all the friendly people of Europe.
Once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Madam Speaker, the government has passed the Mental Health Care Act 2017 and other initiatives such as Kiran and Mandopan initiative. We even announced National Suicide Prevention Strategy, which is first of its kind in the country, with time-bound action plans and multi-sectoral collaborations to achieve a reduction in suicide mortality by 10% by 2030. I repeat, by 10% by 2030. The National Education Policy 2020 has provisions for counseling systems for handling stress and emotional adjustments in institutions. It also has provisions for opportunities for students' participation in sports, culture and art clubs, activity clubs, eco clubs, community service projects, and much more. Further, in alignment with the NEP, eradicate language barriers for the students for an improved understanding and improved teaching learning outcomes. All India Council for Technical Education has initiated the work of translation of technical books into 12 scheduled regional languages. Madam Speaker, the government has directed all the administration and stakeholders of the coaching industries to take various steps, such as suicide-proofing fans in hostel rooms to installation of nets in balconies and lobbies to prevent students from ending their lives, restrictions on glorifications of toppers to directives for keeping results of routine tests confidential, roping in mess workers and tiffin service providers to flag early signs of stress if a student is not consuming food properly, were among the measures taken this year to prevent further deaths.
Any supplementary questions? Mr. Ujjwal Pradhan.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से सदन का ध्यान इस ओर आकर्षित करना चाहता हूं कि उच्च शिक्षण संस्थाओं में दाखिला लेने हेतु जो परीक्षाएं होती हैं, उनकी तैयारी करने के लिए पूरे देश के अनेकों शहरों में कुकुर मुक्ता की तरह कोचिंग संस्थाएं खुल गई हैं। कुछ शहर तो कोचिंग के हब बन गए हैं और इन कोचिंग हब्स में अन्य राज्यों से लाखों बच्चे पढ़ने के लिए आते हैं। हम सभी न्यूज में कोचिंग हब कोटा में आए दिन स्टूडेंट्स के सुसाइड की खबर सुनते रहते हैं। कभी पढ़ाई तो कभी घर वालों के दबाव के कारण यहाँ छात्र छात्राएं आए दिन आत्महत्या जैसे कदम उठाते रहते हैं। दिल्ली के ओल्ड राजेंद्र नगर में स्थित कोचिंग सेंटर के बेसमेंट में अचानक बारिश का पानी भरने से सिविल सेवा परीक्षा की तैयारी कर रही 2 छात्राओं व 1 छात्र की मृत्यु हो गई। मैडम स्पीकर, यह बहुत खेदजनक बात है। अच्छी शिक्षा प्राप्त कर सके, इसके लिए पूरे देश के अभिभावक अपने बच्चे इन शहरों में कंपटीशन की तैयारी करने के लिए भेजते हैं और इन शिक्षण संस्थाओं की फीस पर लाखों रुपए खर्च करते हैं। और यह लगते दूर की बात है कि अनेक बच्चे इन महंगे शिक्षण संस्थाओं के मायाजाल में फंसकर रह जाते हैं और इन संस्थाओं के अच्छे रिजल्ट के दबाव और पेरेंट्स की अपेक्षाओं के बोझ तले दबकर अपनी जान गंवा बैठते हैं।
महोदय, कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछे।
जी महोदय, मैं उसी पर आ रहा हूँ। महोदय, इस युवा संसद की और मुख्यतः सरकार में बैठे लोगों की यह जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि वह इस विषय की गंभीरता को समझते हुए आवश्यक कदम उठाएं। अतः मैं माननीय शिक्षा मंत्री से यह जानना चाहता हूं कि क्या केंद्र सरकार ने राज्य सरकारों को इस तरह के कोचिंग संस्थानों पर नियंत्रण करने के लिए कुछ सुझाव दिए हैं? यदि हाँ, तो वह क्या है?
मिनिस्टर ऑफ एजुकेशन।
अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं युवा संसद के अपने साथी के कथन से पूर्णतः सहमत हूं और आपके माध्यम से इनके सदन को यह आश्वासन देना चाहता हूं कि सरकार भी इस विषय में गंभीरता से कार्य कर रही है। पिछले दिनों ही प्रधानमंत्री जी ने राज्य सरकारों के साथ हुई मीटिंग में इस विषय पर सभी मुख्यमंत्री से विचार विमर्श किया था तथा राज्यों से इस विषय में उचित कार्यवाही करने के निर्देश भी दिए थे। जहां तक कोटा शहर की कोचिंग संस्थानों का प्रश्न है, राज्य सरकार ने सूचित किया है कि उन्होंने इसके लिए अनेक कदम उठाए हैं। छात्रों को सुसाइड से रोकने के लिए अब कोटा प्रशासन ने तय किया है कि हर 15 दिनों में सभी कोचिंग सेंटर्स के छात्र छात्राओं का साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट करा जाएगा। ऐसा इसलिए कि अगर किसी छात्र के दिमाग में सुसाइड जैसा आत्मघाती कदम उठाने का ख्याल आ रहा है तो इसका पता लगाकर उसे रोका जा सके। जांच के बाद जिन छात्रों में इस तरह के लक्षण पाए जाएंगे उन्हें परामर्श भी दिया जाएगा। केंद्र सरकार द्वारा अन्य राज्यों को भी इसी तरह से कार्यवाही करने के लिए निर्देश दिए गए हैं और जैसा कि मैंने अभी अभी सदन को सूचित किया है, नई शिक्षा नीति में भी इस विषय को प्रमुखता से स्थान दिया गया है। महोदय, कार्य आसान नहीं है, अथक परिश्रम की आवश्यकता है। पर किसी कवि ने कहा है, कौन कहता है कि आसमान में सुराख नहीं हो सकता? कौन कहता है कि आसमान में सुराख नहीं हो सकता? एक पत्थर तो जरा तबीयत से उछालो यारो। और मुझे पूरी आशा है कि नई शिक्षा नीति इसी प्रकार का प्रयास सिद्ध होगी।
Now, question number 102, Srimati Janvi.
Ma'am's critical issue that continues to challenge the economic landscape of India. As India is one of the world's most populous nations with a diverse workforce, Fluctuations in the unemployment rate have far-reaching implications for the country's growth and development. Madam Speaker, according to the India Employment Report 2024, created jointly by the Institute for Human Development and the International Labour Organization (ILO), India's working population increased from 61% in 2015 to 64% in 2023, and it is projected to reach 65% in 2030. However, the percent of youth involved in economic activities declined to 37% in 2023. पढ़ लिख कर भी युवा बेकार बैठे हैं, डिग्रियों वाले भी देखो लाचार बैठे। अरे पढ़ लिख कर भी युवा बेकार बैठे हैं, डिग्रियों वाले भी देखो लाचार बैठे हैं। रोजगार देने का किया था वादा, वो कुर्सियों पर मुस्कुराए बैठे। This government failed to provide sustainable job growth and secure the nation's future prosperity. This government lacks the commitment to the youth of this country. This government has failed to provide effective policy measures to tackle unemployment. According to the latest data from the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, an independent think tank, India's youth unemployment rate has reached an alarming level at 9.2% in June 2024, a sharp increase from 7% in May 2023.
Madam Speaker, according to the Consumer Prices Household Survey report, the female unemployment reached 18.5%. I repeat, 18.5%, exceeding the national average in June 2024. Madam Speaker, this government is only good at giving fancy slogans for everything, and this government only works on paper, but it failed in practice to provide any solution to unemployment. Madam Speaker, the growth which this government is projecting on paper is only jobless growth. It's not job-oriented growth. I repeat, it's only jobless growth. It's not job-oriented growth.
Minister of Employment has taken various steps for generating employment in the country, like encouraging private sector of economy, fast-tracking various projects involving substantial investment, and increasing public expenditure on schemes like Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Pratashan Yojana, Skill India Mission, Minister of Skill Development, Skill India Mission, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship is implementing a flagship scheme known as Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana with an objective to provide skilling to 1 crore people under short-term training. The Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana, PM Vishwaskarma Scheme, Prime Minister Street Vendor Atmanirbhar Nidhi. Above all, these schemes are a reflection of our government to resolve the problem of unemployment in this country, which the previous government, who are sitting now in opposition, failed to address. मैम स्पीकर, हमारे गवर्नमेंट ने इतनी स्कीमें निकाली है, चाहे वो पॉवर्टी के लिए हो, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए हो या किसी के लिए भी हो, किंतु विपक्ष को उसमें खामियां ही नजर आती है। जब भी किसी राज्य में हम अपनी योजना लागू करते हैं, विपक्ष उसे बढ़ावा देने के बजाय या तो उसकी आलोचना करती है या उस पर इल्जाम लगाती है। हमारे देश का यही दुर्भाग्य है कि गवर्नमेंट कुछ भी कर ले, विपक्ष उसके विरोध नहीं रहती है। जो लोग दूसरों की आलोचना करते हैं, उन्हें पहले खुद के कामकाज मूल्यांकन करना चाहिए। सिर्फ विरोध करने से देश की तरक्की नहीं हो सकती। विपक्ष का कार्य सुझाव देने का होना चाहिए, ना कि रुकावट बनने का।
Speaker, for allowing me to speak. We have come a long way as a civilization. We have come a long way as a civilization. from Rig and Samved to the longest written document of this world. From building Pushpak Vimans 4,000 years ago to building world-class infrastructure today. From worshipping Moon and Mars to going to them from Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan today. We have come a long way as a civilization. Today, we need to build a state that is sustainable and inclusive. It should include the doctors, it should include the engineers, it should include the soldiers, as well as the sweepers who clean this nation. Madam Speaker, today we have surpassed China. Now it is inevitable that we should make healthcare and educational infrastructure to sustain that population. We need to enforce and increase our employment avenues. Why should, as young people, we should only dream about becoming IAS officers, engineers or doctors? Why can't I dream of a nation in which through vocational education, a young Dalit boy from Tamil Nadu becomes the leading shoemaker of this world? Why can't I dream of a nation where a barber from Gujarat becomes the famous hairstylist of this world? Madam Speaker, these opposition parties are short-sighted about sustainable employment. They only talk about government jobs and government jobs. जब था शासन हाथ तुम्हारे, जब था शासन हाथ तुम्हारे, तब तो किया न कोई काम. अब दूसरा करना चाहे तो करते हो सभी शुभ प्रयत्न नाकाम. मैडम स्पीकर, इतने साल इन्होंने सरकार चलाकर देख लिया, पर देश में कोई भी स्ट्रक्चरल बदलाव नहीं कर पाए. My government is committed to provide every citizen sustainable employment. Madam Speaker, time has come that India should build its own Google and Facebook. I believe that today, along with National Youth Parliament, we also need youth in our parliament. And my government always go with युवा का साथ, देश का विकास. धन्यवाद.
Now, 0 hour start. Srimati Naisha, please.
Party stands apart from other political parties in its approach to women's empowerment. Unlike other parties which views women's empowerment as a mere political issue, my party and my Prime Minister regard it as a matter of principles and beliefs. Angelina Jolie said, and I quote, "There is no greater pillar of stability than a strong, free and educated women." Women's empowerment is not just a political goal for this government, though it might be for the opposition, which takes a selective stance on crimes against women. Just look at the states which are ruled by these opposition parties. Very recently, a woman was severely beaten to death on road. Madam Speaker, these opposition parties are always busy in spreading false propaganda about the government. The states ruled by them have not yet succeeded in securing women's rights. The opposition parties always resort to so-called politics of lies. Madam Speaker, my government takes the safety of women very, very seriously, as evidenced by its implementation of stringent laws over time. अरे opposition parties तो बस बड़े-बड़े सवाल करना जानते हैं. क्या इन्हें ये भी पता है कि हमारी सरकार ने औरतों की सुरक्षा के लिए कितने ठोस कदम उठाए हैं? Madam Speaker, my government has implemented the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences (POCSO) Act, Mission Shakti, Nirbhaya Fund, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, Digital Shakti Campaign, Swadhana Scheme and what not. Speaker ma'am, the government has taken a revolutionary initiative for tracking and controlling crime against women by launching the National Database on Sexual Offenders (NDSO) in 2018. The database contains entries of offenders convicted under charges of rape, gang rape, POCSO and eve teasing. The portal as of now contains entries of 440,000 cases. I repeat, 440,000 cases of rape. मैम स्पीकर, जिस दिन औरत बिना किसी डर, बिना किसी हिचकिचाहट के भारत में रात में सड़कों पर चल सकेगी, उस दिन मैं भारत को सच में आजाद कहूंगी। The government has displayed an unwavering commitment to protecting and uplifting this historically marginalized segment of the population, thereby ushering in a transformative era for social change and women's empowerment. My government believes in Nari Samajasya Kushal Vastukara, which perfectly describes women as the skilled architect of society. और इसीलिए जहां नारी का सम्मान होगा, वही देश का विकास होगा। जय हिंद।
Serious breach of privilege has been committed by the leading newspaper of Delhi. While commenting on the recommendations of the Public Accounts Committee, the paper has attributed dishonest motives, and I have requested you to allow me to raise a question on that matter now.
Miss Archie, have you given notice of it earlier? You may give due notice alongside a copy of the newspaper cutting, and I shall consider it. You cannot spring surprise on me like this.
I have already given notice of it at 10 a.m. today.
It will be examined when it comes to me. I shall consider it and will let you know my decision. Now, ZORN. It's time the papers to be laid. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment.
Ma'am Speaker, I beg to lay on the table the copy of the annual report of welfare, social justice and empowerment of disadvantaged and marginalized sections of the society in Hindi and English version of the year 2024 to 25, along with the audit accounts and comments of the Controller and the Auditor General therein.
Honorable Minister for Agriculture.
Ma'am Speaker, I beg to lay on the table a copy of each of the following papers, Hindi and English versions under the subsection 619A of the Companies Act 1956. First point, review by the government on the working of the State Farm Corporation of India Limited, New Delhi for the year 2023 to 24. Second point, annual report of the National Mineral Development Corporation Limited, the Hyderabad for the year 2023 to 24, alongside audited accounts and the comments of Comptroller and Auditor General Limited.
Now, it's time for calling attention motion.
Of the Railway Minister regarding the recent train accidents which led to the death of about 300 people and over 1,200 injured. I repeat, which led to the death of about 300 people and over 1,200 injured. Isn't it the responsibility of the government to ensure that the people reach their destination safely? Oh, at this point I almost forgot that the government is actually busy flagging off expensive Vande Bharat trains. Madam Speaker, what can we expect more from this kind of government which prioritizes expensive Vande Bharat trains over tragic accidents? The government has been thoroughly compromising the basic railway safety, whose result is actually suffered by millions of citizens. Several tragic accidents have been occurred, like the Coromandel Express accident. Over 290 people were dead. The Kanchenjunga Express accident, over 15 people were dead. On the other hand, we also cannot forget the fact about the derailments. The Howrah-Mumbai Mail derailed in Uttar Pradesh, the Chandigarh Express in Chhattisgarh. I cannot forget that what the government is doing here. People are getting killed. Ma'am Speaker, this is not merely about the statistics which I am pointing about. It's actually about the lives of those people which have been shattered away from their families, their dreams have been extinguished just because the carelessness of this government. And not only this, Madam Speaker, in recent times, several videos of crowded without tickets. So we also can observe now ticketless passengers in our trains. And not only this, Madam Speaker, people are actually traveling in toilets. But this government is not at all ashamed of it. Now what I see is that the ministry and the government is actually pioneering a new travel trend where the citizens get to experience the thrill of accidents, including the luxury of traveling in toilets. Isn't it? जिस तबाही से लोग बचते थे, अरे जिस तबाही से लोग बचते थे वो सरेआम हो रही है। अजमते मुल्क इस सियासत के हाथ नीलाम हो रही है।
The railway minister recently spoke of using police force against those overcrowding train coaches. But doesn't she know that last year 70 lakh people had to cancel their tickets due to an acute shortage of seats? A direct result of this government's policy of reducing the number of sleeper and general coaches. Madam Speaker, under this government there is no accountability, no resignations, only grandiose talks about irrelevant rail projects that the poor and middle class cannot access. Their focus on the publicity of Vande Bharat has come at the cost of rail safety, overshadowing the serious deficiencies, criminal negligence and complete disregard of the safety and security of Indian Railways. हमारे देश में रेल यात्रियों की सुरक्षा का मतलब सिर्फ बातें और वादे बनकर रह गया है. When the system fails, the minister shows up with his PR team and does a site visit by evening and uploads a railback mode. The reality is that the tracks are deteriorating, yet the government remains busy with hollow promises and speeches. Madam Speaker, in past 10 years, this government has indulged in utter mismanagement of the railway ministry. We have witnessed the decay of what was lifeline of our nation. Make no mistake, we will remain persistent with our questions and shall make this government accountable for its criminal abandonment of the Indian Railways. कागज के इंसानों पर आग की निगरानी है, अंधी सत्ता के हाथों मासूमों को जान गंवानी है. अब समय आ गया है कि देश की जनता से इस सरकार के असली चेहरे को उजागर किया जाए. हम चुप नहीं बैठेंगे क्योंकि ये सवाल देश के करोड़ों लोगों से जुड़े हुए हैं. गांधी जी ने कहा था, जनता ही असली मालिक है और हम उस मालिक की आवाज उठाते रहेंगे. इस सरकार के खोखले वादों का पर्दाफाश करके रहेंगे.
Madam Speaker, the instructions have already been given to ensure proper and speedy investigation of the tragedy and to take prompt and stringent actions against those who found guilty. Railways also announced that they would pay the compensation of 30 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased, 5 lakh rupees to those with severely injured, and 50,000 rupees to those with minor injuries. Madam Speaker, the statistics also show that over the last few decades, the number of derailment that contributes to the majority of accidents has declined from 150 per year to 37 per year. I repeat, 150 per year to 37 per year. To say it in a direct sense, our government has taken more care and concern regarding the safety of railway passengers compared to the previous government who's sitting in the opposition now. This is what data reflects, Madam Speaker. अब ये हमें रेलवे सिक्योरिटी के बारे में सिखाने का नाटक कर रहे हैं.
Railway family, there's a lot of misinformation and theatrics by the opposition to demotivate them. Our government has taken various steps to improve the working conditions of the train drivers, such as duty hours of loco pilots are carefully monitored. Rest is provided meticulously after trips. The average duty hour is less than within the prescribed hours. The average duty hour is less than 8 hours. I repeat, less than 8 hours in the month of January to June. Only under exigencies, trip duration exceed the prescribed hours. Before 2016, loco cabs were in a very bad condition. But since 2016, loco cabs have improved with ergonomic seats and more than 7,000. I repeat, more than 7,000 loco cabs are air conditioned. Now all the new locomotives are manufactured with AC cabs.
In running rooms, foot massagers are also provided. Madam Speaker, I would like to conclude my speech with a small message to this nation. The attempt to demoralize the railway family with fake news will always fail. The entire railway parivar is united in serving our country.
मोहतरमा जी, आपके इतने बड़े ऐसे के बाद मुझे बस इतना बता दें, ये सब हो कहाँ रहा है? आपके सपनों में? क्योंकि भारत में ऐसा कुछ लग रहा नहीं है। अगर होता तो आज हमारे हाथ में ये इतनी ट्रेन जितनी लंबी लिस्ट नहीं होती एक्सीडेंट्स की। Madam Speaker, they are just sitting like closing their eyes in the name of justice of our nation.
Are spreading false narratives against the Indian Railways and attempting to denigrate Indian Railway employees for their own political gains? What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. The social media platforms are being misused by certain opposition parties to cast aspersions on the railway services. These false narratives against the Indian Railways must cease, especially considering as it serves millions daily and employs over 1.2 million, I repeat, 1.2 million dedicated staff who work tirelessly to ensure seamless railway transportation across the country. I urge over 12 lakh employees and all the stakeholders in the railway sector to work together with dedication, maintaining high moral and not to be discouraged by the false narratives and misinformation being propagated by the opposition. The Indian Railways commitment to providing affordable travel to people from all the social economic backgrounds. Recently, our government has announced plans to manufacture of 10,000 ACs. I repeat, 10,000 non-AC coaches in the next 2 years, emphasizing government's commitment to delivering on promises are made. Thank you.
To report message from upper chamber of the Youth Parliament.
Ma'am, I have to report the following message received from the Secretary of the Upper Chamber of Youth Parliament 2024-25. In accordance with the provision of Rule of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Upper House of Youth Parliament, I am directed to enclose a copy of the Unauthorized and Illegal Primary Health Center and Hospitals Prevention Bill 2024, which was passed by the Upper Chamber as its sitting held on 25 March 2024.
Secretary to lay on the table a copy of the bill as passed by the Youth Parliament.
Ma'am, I lay on the table of the House the Unauthorized and Illegal Primary Health Center and Hospitals Prevention Bill 2024 as passed by the Upper Chamber.
Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change to introduce the bill. Now, the House will take up consideration of the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Bill 2024. Minister, please.
महोदया, मैं अपना विचार सरदार पटेल की कुछ पंक्तियों से शुरू करना चाहूंगी। खुशबू बनकर महका करेंगे हम लहराती हर फसलों में, सांस बनकर गुनगुनाएंगे अपने आने वाली हर नस्लों में। Madam Speaker, I beg to move the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2024. Recognizing various restrictions on farmers selling their produce, the government seeks to provide an ecosystem where the farmers and traders enjoy the freedom of choice relating to sale and purchase of farmers' produce, which facilitates remunerative prices through competitive alternative trading channels to promote efficient and transparent barrier-free interstate and intrastate trade and commerce of farmers' produce outside physical premises of markets or deemed markets notified under various state agriculture produce legislations to provide a facilitative framework for electronic trading and matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. I seek permission from the Chair to consider the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill. The salient features and some of the important provisions of the bills are interstate trade, market freedom, electronic trading, barrier removal, no market fee, contract farming, dispute resolution, regulation and restrictions. Ma'am, I'm confident that all the honorable members of the House, irrespective of party affiliation, will welcome the bill wholeheartedly and through it to help farmers to increase their income by providing them with an ecosystem where the farmers and traders enjoy the freedom of choice relating to the sale and purchase of farmers' produce. With these words, I now move the Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill be taken into consideration.
Motion moved.
This bill nowhere states that the current system of minimum support price MSP based procurement of food grains, especially wheat and paddy, by government agencies would end. A plain reading of this bill suggests that such purchases in state regulated APMC, Agricultural Produce Market Committee mandis, will continue as before. The APMCs wouldn't stop functioning either. Nothing prevents farmers from selling their produce or traders and processors from buying in these mandis. भारत की समृद्धि का रास्ता गांव के खेतों और खलिहानों से होकर गुजरता है। हम पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री चौधरी चरण सिंह जी के इन्हीं शब्दों को ध्यान में रखकर अपना कार्य कर रहे हैं और उम्मीद करते हैं कि किसानों के हालात सुधारने में विपक्ष इसमें हमारा साथ दे, न कि उन्हें उलझाकर उन्हें उन्हीं के भले और सरकार से दूर करे।
Speaker, if the government is saying this bill will not affect present MSP and APMC system, why don't they give it written assurance? We don't let our farmers to fall in the false narratives trap of the government. Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will in the end contribute most to real wealth, good morals and happiness. Madam Speaker, we are not against providing farmers an alternative platform to sell their products, but our objection is with the nature of this bill and vagueness of the bills regarding MSP and APMC system. We don't support this corporate loot.
Madam Speaker, a policy guaranteeing a MSP requires holistic approach, taking into consideration all the stakeholders, all the state governments, as well as the farmers' organizations. It will not be justifiable to pass such an important bill without proper consultation. Madam Speaker, through you, I want to clear it to opposition that we are at the most concerned with the farmers' interest and we won't let them down at any cost. As opposition asking for written assurance, I am now saying, while standing in this temple of democracy, that we will bring a separate bill on MSP this year itself. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare.
Madam Speaker, I hope the government has answered most of the points raised by the members in the course of speech. I once again thank you for your support and seek your cooperation in implementing this measure. I request the House to pass the bill.
The question is, and Commerce Bill be taken into consideration. Those who are in favor will say aye. Aye. Those who are against it will say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Close consideration. Now the question is that clause 2 to 10 stands part of the bill. There is one amendment in clause 5 by Srimati Khushi. Are you moving it?
No, ma'am. In view of the reply given by the Prime Minister, I am not pressing the amendment.
Now, the question is that clause 2 to 10 stands part of the bill. Those who are in favor will say aye. Aye. Those against will say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare.
Ma'am, I move the bill be passed.
Motion moved that the bill is passed. Those who are in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against, it may please say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Now the House has adjourned to meet again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you.